and retire.
14.6 million, man. 14.6 now. Like that.
And then they said that Vince retired, and now they're saying that he didn't retire, he resigned, which is a whole nother thing. Bro, long story short, we can get to all that in a minute. Right now, let's talk about the play at hand right now. We got Stephanie McMahon, co-CEO, Nick Khan, co-CEO, but I think the news of the day, we said this, I think everybody is kind of, we're hopeful, but I think we also understand that it's not going to happen right away. So you got to be patient, but Triple H is now officially the head of creative. And we said this, we said it was only going to happen one or two ways. If Vince McMahon got forced out, or if he unfortunately, went on and passed on, and Triple H is still around. So Vince still alive, but he ain't in charge of anything for right now anyway. Too cold. Vince McMahon, he's out. Triple H is in. What are your thoughts? What are your hopes? What is your feeling for not only WWE as a whole, but how does this shake up professional wrestling? Because now I think, if this is all it's cracked up to be, I think you could really see some real live, legit throwback competition. Now, I mean, granted, AEW isn't competition to WWE in that sense, but let's be honest, AEW has been, for the most part, giving us what we've been missing out of WWE. But we know when WWE, when they give us what we want, they're unfuckable. Nobody can touch WWE when they give the fans what they want. And Triple H, I believe, is that guy. I believe we all think that. What are your thoughts?
The same as before. It's cool. Not only that, the word is that Paul Heyman will be the head of the writing creative team. So if Triple H is going to be in charge, and you're going to have Paul Heyman being the head creator instead of Bruce Pritchard, and you're going to move Bruce Pritchard to something else. Cool. So it's. I don't think he's out the company. I think he's just out of that position.
Out of that position, yeah.
No, I think he's just out of that position. But that's a good. Don't get me wrong. We like where Triple H took NXT. Okay, we like what he did with it. We like the way he allowed guys to not only develop who they are as characters, but develop who they are as inside the ring, and gave them opportunity to showcase how good they really are. So, there's a lot of positives. Yeah, there's some negatives. There's always drawbacks, but there's a lot more positive to Triple H running things, being ahead of, what the talent, knowing the talent, having more of a faith in them, and seeing what they can do. The thing here is, obviously, the main roster is different from NXT. Now, they're going to TV 14. They got rid of the PG. You've got a new creative. You've got an abundance of stars that you could use. The question is, can you put some respectability back in a lot of these people that have been just tainted or wasted talent? Like people that you've given all your time to try to build up. Like can Finn Balor recover? Can a lot of these other women that have been brought up to the main roster that, they've been doing more since the Sasha and Naomi walkout, but can they actually, be consistent? Can they actually show what was really good about them? There's going to be a lot to question and digest, once we break this thing down, but it's going to take time. I'm going to have to see the direction in which the company wants to go. Are you going to continue on the path of where you are, and supposedly you're just going to change little by little? Because right now, if your thought and feeling is you look at this SummerSlam card, now look again, looking at it on paper, it don't look bad, but it don't scream biggest party of the summer. You got to acknowledge that. You can't say you can't put that out there. You don't like the card for what it's constructed, but it's like, well, you're kind of forced in your hand in what you got to do. Is Brock Lesnar going to show up for SummerSlam now that Vince is gone? I'm hoping that he will, because Paul's still around, and Paul can go, hey, look, it's going to pretty much still be the same thing you want. I mean, dude, it's I don't think I don't see Brock beating Roman at SummerSlam anyway. I don't care to see neither one of them at champion at this point, because I'm tired of the champion being gone for 3 months, 2 months, not being a part of the show. Like, and it's not even like when they did it before, you had Seth Rollins as your Intercontinental Champion. You had The Miz and Dolph Ziggler and other people as your United States Champion. You had guys that were good who were putting the mid-card championships on point. You don't have that now. Walter's cool, but Walter's not doing anything with anybody that's really insignificant. The United States Championship is just kind of just on Bobby Lashley. So you're not even really putting over the mid-card champions like you did before when you had Seth Rollins and John Cena and a few others be the United States champion while Brock was holding no championship sitting at home. So it's and don't get me wrong, I still like the head of the table, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. I still like it. It's still good. But eventually, I think they need to – I hope they're not waiting till WrestleMania next year, but it looks like they could be waiting till WrestleMania next year to take those titles off of them if it doesn't happen in September.
Yeah, my thing is, right now, I think you need to strike while the iron is hot. You got away with letting Drew not win the title off of Roman the first time, because you've always kind of kept that in the back of your head, like, okay, Drew had other people at that time to kind of fight and kind of go through outside of Roman to kind of build itself back up. But right now, what we're looking at with over 700 days as champion for Reigns now. I mean, he's been champion so long. He's been dominant for so long that you got to keep him off TV for months at a time because there's nobody else for him to fight. It was unlike Brock Lesnar, who, they kept Brock off TV just because they wanted him to be a box office draw. It wasn't because Brock was running through everybody.
And because Brock didn't want to wrestle all the time either. Let's keep that in mind. It was a big part of him not wanting to be there as much, only wanting to wrestle so many oftentimes a year. And Roman's kind of gotten to that same point, which is why it's like, man, they don't take the title off him by September. It's like, man, we're going to have to wait till we're going to wait till either Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble to see Roman Reigns again, which will probably be Survivor Series given that time frame.
I guess my only thing is now it's I guess because you built Roman to be so dominant, and I think honestly right now the only person I see is Drew on the SmackDown side that can do anything. Legit.
I mean, overall though, you got Cody, Drew, and Bobby Lashley. Cody's for the obvious part of the story of just him coming in and getting the championship. Will that still continue with Triple H and them in charge? I don't know. I think it will, but who knows? But you still have those three aspects, and then you can't forget Mr. Money in the Bank, Austin Theory.
So I don't know. I don't know if I actually plan on him losing at the Money in the Bank. Did you hear about that?
What, losing a briefcase?
Yeah. So the plan is that he was going to lose. Allegedly, the thought is, I don't know what happened, but since Vince has stepped out, the rumor is now that Theory's not only going to lose to Lashley, but also lose the cash in. Now, how they going to work that out? Not sure. Will it even happen? Not sure. But that's been floated around that people are saying that this could be the first time that somebody loses both the championship match and the cash in the same night. Now, I don't know what purpose that would serve building up somebody.
See now, I mean, they would have to do something tonight. They would have to do something tonight, unless they're gonna do it last minute or Friday. But you would have to do something tonight, man. And if that's the case, then you telling me Bobby Lashley's not only gonna retain, but he's gonna be given the Money in the Bank briefcase by beating Theory, and then he's gonna come down and cash in. Okay, all right. Is he taking both championships or is he just taking one? Like, what are you doing with these belts? Are you keeping them together? Are you separating them? Like, honestly, I feel like I still believe in brand extension because by doing the crossover, you're taking time away from the talent. Yeah. So it's like we
had the first time.
You're right. So it's like, okay, you got the Usos out there, but it's like, because you're not really building no other tag teams. Like, that's the problem. Like, you're not, the New Day is just out there. Like, they just out there. Like, we've seen them. We've seen the New Day. Not that we don't love the New Day, but We've kind of seen them, man. We've seen their run. We've seen them dominate. We've seen them and the Usos go at it. There's not much more that's going to make me excited. Right now, it's the Street Profits and Usos. That's good. I think this should be it. Like, if they don't get it, they don't get it. But if they win, cool. But, man, I don't know if you can do a third time. You got the Viking Raiders now coming back. But, again,
they trying to freshen things up with making them be heels on the main roster. But
the new vicious Viking. No, that's not. No, first of all, just call them the Viking Raiders. Or go back to the War Raiders. You want to bring them back? Go back to the War Raiders. Go back to that name. That will be more that's the vicious you need. I don't need the new vicious Viking Raiders. That I'm sorry, that's your joke. Because now you're coming out here with eyeliner on and you're supposed to be mean. And I know you're tough. I know you're good, but it's like, man, I'm not buying this. I'd rather y'all just be heels. Y'all ain't got to, be cosplay. I don't know. But
they should be the new fabulous Viking Raiders.
Something, man. I just don't. I hate that the new vicious Viking Raiders. Like, come on, man. No, they're better than that. But again, I don't know, man. You. That's a huge thing. I didn't hear that they were going to do that with Theory. But then again, it's like. But you don't want to lose Theory's steam either.
Yeah,
like
he's actually got a good heel.
He is a good heel, so you want to keep him relevant. Honestly, the only thing I'm gonna be honest, man. I feel like you need to put the title back on him, and somehow tonight. I don't know, man, but I feel like you need to. He shouldn't have lost the United States Championship. Yeah. I feel like he shouldn't have lost it. I feel like because after he cashes in, let's just say he keeps the briefcase, he tries to cash in, and he doesn't win. Then what does he got left? He's got nothing. It's like, dude, you could still be the United States champion. It's one thing when you got a mid-carder that's a champion as the Money in the Bank winner, because if they don't win it, then okay, they can still go be champion. They can still go, be an arrogant ass. He can still be an arrogant ass, but I feel like it takes away from where they've been trying to push him. But obviously this hasn't been Triple H and them trying to push him like this. This has been Vince. So,
but let's be fair.
Maybe he's got
pushing him in NXT though.
He was pushing him in NXT and he got in trouble, and he had to play the dumb role, to kind of earn back his good graces, which is cool. But maybe Triple H got a new direction for Austin Theory. Maybe he'll still kind of be the person he is, but maybe there'll be a new direction for him. And they'll get him out. It's going to take them a while to undo the stuff that Vince has done.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to earn the people's trust back again. Just saying that they're in charge don't mean shit, because if you're going to come out here and continue to do the same shit, then it's like, nothing's changed. It's just new people in charge and nothing's changed. Y'all are keeping the same formula. So it's going to take time. Let's see what happens by the time we get to Survivor Series. I was about to say SummerSlam. Survivor Series. Let's see what happens when we get there, because I feel like that'll be a good amount of time to kind of gauge in the direction we see that Triple H and the new creative and everybody's going to be going forward in.
Yeah, and on top of that, too, after Survivor Series, of course, we'll be on the road to the Royal Rumble, which by that point, we'll kind of have more of an inkling of how the WrestleMania card started to shape up and stuff like that. So like you said, and like I said, before I asked you, I don't anticipate, this happening anytime soon. Honestly, I don't even anticipate much of a change throughout the rest of the summer. I think you may start to see little small stuff here or there, but I don't really anticipate nothing for the fall, honestly.
If I'm going to look at it, I'm still giving them to Survivor Series, but I think you got to think about it. We don't have a pay-per-view for the next month. We don't have anything until that September 5th. So you got the whole month of August. You got a whole entire month, man, where you could kind of reshape some stuff and do some different things, because you got to produce something. You got a whole month.
Remember with Paul Heyman, when he took over for a little bit in that June, from that June to July or August, whatever it was, it wasn't a long time, but you automatically, even though you still seeing Vince's handprint, but guiding it,
right?
You seen what a fresh face could do for the product.